100 rare historical photos revealed, untold stories from the past. On October 7, 1943, Ottla Kafka, the beloved sister of author Franz Kafka, was gassed upon arrival at Auschwitz. She had volunteered to escort a group of orphans from the Terezin ghetto so they wouldn't be afraid. A beautiful Ukrainian girl in national costume, 1935. Photo before and after restoration. A group of friends enjoying the beach and sunshine in the 1940s. Faces of Auschwitz, 1940. Couples at a bar, Pittsburgh, 1959. A Mixtec woman from Oaxaca in her traditional dress, 1970s. The Mixtec and Zapotec peoples share land, but are entirely different ethnic groups. Her Majesty Queen Marie of Romania, 1896. Albert Einstein and his sister Maya Einstein, New York, 1939. Gertrude Ederle, the first woman to swim across the English Channel, on August 26, 1926. She completed the feat in 14 hours and 31 minutes, breaking the men's record of 16 hours and 33 minutes. Sabina Chibichi, a Kenyan athlete, won a race in 1973 while barefoot and wearing a dress. Lonnie Johnson, inventor of the Super Soaker, 1992. Aboriginal Tasmanian Fanny Cochrane-Smith recorded her singing on a phonograph in 1903. Without her efforts to preserve her culture, there would be no audio traces of the Tasmanian language. Two young boys stand barefoot on moving electric looms to reach the top shelf while working at a cotton mill in Georgia, 1910. Such photographs of child laborers in dangerous conditions led to the establishment of child labor laws. The first interracial marriage in Mississippi took place in 1970, just 3 years after the 1967 Supreme Court ruling in Loving v. Virginia, which legalized interracial marriage in the U.S. The only known photograph of an African-American Union soldier with his family, circa 1864. Gertrude Ederle, the first woman to swim across the English Channel on August 26, 1926. Dance teacher Patsy Swayze, center, with her daughter-in-law Lisa Niemi and son Patrick Swayze, 1978. London, 1940. A girl sits in the wreckage of her bombed-out home, holding her doll. Jane Russell shows her co-star Marilyn Monroe one of her talents, drawing. In this 1953 photo, taken during the filming of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Russell sketches a portrait of Monroe. In Arviat, Nunavut, northern Canada, 1949, an Inuit girl descends into her ice igloo home. Remembering the Father, 1925. Dorothy Counts, the first black student to attend an all-white school in the U.S., being taunted by her white classmates at Harry Harding High School in Charlotte, 1957. Barack Obama dressed as a pirate with his mother, Stanley Ann, in the 1960s. In the middle of a celebration, a young woman from Oaxaca, Mexico, notices she is being photographed and gives the camera a striking look. 1985. Princess Fawzia Fuad of Egypt, Queen of Iran, circa 1939. Republican and Democratic supporters engage in a snowball fight in front of the U.S. Capitol, January 1921. A 112-year-old veteran of World War I and the Russian Civil War, Taimruz Vanacha, with his son, Ivan, a World War II veteran, in 1980. Sisters in Skirts, 1950s. This photo shows Margaret Ann Neve, an American woman who passed away in 1902 at the age of 110. Born in 1792, she lived across 3 centuries. A woman inspects the newly introduced seatbelt in her car, circa 1950s. Washington, D.C. Marcy Borders, known as the Dust Lady, after escaping the North Tower of the World Trade Center on September 11th. She later died of cancer at age 42. A vintage photograph of a child wearing a monkey mask, 1920s. A mother and daughter posing playfully for the camera, circa 1900. Blackfoot Chief Two Guns White Calf, early 1900s. Barack Obama visiting his step-grandmother, Sarah Ogwell Onyango Obama, in Kenya, 1988. Known affectionately as Grandma Sarah, she was the third and youngest wife of Obama's grandfather. A lucky British soldier shows off his damaged helmet, 1917. Until 1956, French children were served wine with their school lunch. Mayan women in the Yucatan Peninsula, circa 1952. Their traditional dress is called the huipil. A photograph from the 1993 Great Flood, when James Scott deliberately sabotaged a levee, triggering a massive Mississippi River flood. His motive? To delay his wife's return home so he could continue partying. This photograph, taken over 100 years ago in Jerusalem, 1920, features a sign reading, "The Palestine German Bank," offering a glimpse into the region's vibrant multicultural history. Titanic orphans, brothers Michel and Edmund Navratil, 1912. They were the only children rescued from the Titanic without a parent or guardian. A Soviet officer tastes a hot dog and Coca-Cola for the first time aboard the U.S. cruiser, Thomas S. Gates, 1989. Florence and Susie Freermuth, sisters arrested for illegally producing moonshine during Prohibition, 1921. Coca-Cola, one of the first bottles from the 1890s. "12-year-old Freddie Mercury at St. Peter's Boys' School in Panchgani, India, 1958. A 12-year-old Jodie Foster with her body double and sister Connie on the set of Taxi Driver, 1975. In May 1987, the Golden Gate Bridge's 50th anniversary drew an astonishing crowd of around 800,000 attendees, far exceeding the anticipated 80,000 that event planners had prepared for. A survivor from the Titanic giving a woman an autograph in April 1912. An unknown woman stands dangerously close to a tornado to take a photo, 1989. Early photographs show the Mickey Mouse Club from the 1930s. A 1922 photograph capturing the uncovering of Tutankhamun's tomb. A Western tourist who paid to take a photo with a samurai armor on, 1890. A boy reading in a ruined bookshop after a long night of heavy bombing. London, October 1940. Democratically elected President Salvador Allende, seconds before his death during a military coup at the presidential palace in Chile, September 11, 1973. Electric scooters, now considered trendy, actually date back over a century. In the early 1900s, people used them for commuting to school and work. Audrey Hepburn and George Peppard behind the scenes of Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961. A 5-megabyte IBM hard drive, 1956. Father and son crying as they say goodbye to their relatives who are boarding a boat to Buenos Aires in search of a better life during the economic hardship in Spain, 1957. In 1958, car seat safety was rudimentary, with seats lacking any straps. Instead, they relied on the mother extending her arm to prevent the baby from toppling forward. First Lady Nancy Reagan cozies up with Mr. Ton Christmas, 1983. Children in London celebrate Christmas in an underground bomb shelter, December 25, 1940. Grocery shopping in the United States in 1969, First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy sits with her children on Christmas morning, 1962. Elvis Presley signing autographs for fans in California in the 1950s. These visitors found their doppelgangers at a museum. Barbershop in the 1930s, where a fresh haircut would set you back just 25 cents. A then and now comparison of Tokyo, Japan in 1945 and today. American actress Jane Fonda in Free the Army, an anti-Vietnam War theater production, April 1970. A vintage 1970s photo of Marceline Bertrand, mother of Angelina Jolie. Born in 1950, Bertrand was an actress and producer known for her contributions to the entertainment industry. Freddie Mercury during Queen's performance at Live Aid, 1985. Julio Iglesias on his private jet with a bottle of wine and a KFC bucket. Famous confrontation between Mike Mentzer and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the backstage of Mr. Olympia, 1980. The World Trade Center under construction, 1970. $3,000 men who were part of building Chase Manhattan Bank pose for a photo at the end of construction work, 1964. An Egyptian man smoking atop the Pyramid of Giza, Egypt, 1981. Albanians storm the dry cargo ship Vlora, demanding to be taken to neighboring Italy, Albania, August 1991. It all started with an idea. Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar and his cousin Gustavo Gaviria pose in a staged photo in Las Vegas, 1984, portraying old Western gangsters. It all started with an idea. Father Christmas wears a tin helmet while delivering presents during the London Blitz, 1940. January 1st, 1863, New Year's Day, the Emancipation Proclamation takes effect in Confederate territory. Ella Fitzgerald was arrested after performing for an integrated audience in 1955. January 1st, 1934. Alcatraz Island becomes a United States federal prison. Factory worker and his supervisor in Moscow, 1954. A Coast Guardsman inspects his helmet, damaged by shrapnel in southern France, circa 1940s, from the U.S. National Archives. Chinese citizens smoking opium, 1901. Gene Simmons and 13-year-old Brooke Shields, 1978. Five-year-old Albert Einstein in Munich, 1884. Marilyn Monroe, reading James Joyce's Ulysses in a playground, circa 1955. Fresh air treatment for tuberculosis patients in London, 1936. Police arresting a drunk man in a skeleton costume, 1950. The blizzard of 1888 in New York City, a storm that led to the deaths of more than 400 people. Four-year-old Kurt Cobain, 1971. Jim Carrey and Stephen Hawking meet for the first time. A courier carrying bags of baguettes on a snowy street in Quebec, Canada, 1977. Arnold Schwarzenegger on a bike, 1970s. The evolution of the donut hole from 1927 to 1948. Cross-section of the Titanic. A hiker admiring Mount St. Helens, 1952. Little Inuit Girl and Her Puppy, 1949. Photograph by Richard Harrington. Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, 1912. Christmas in the German Trenches, World War I, circa 1915. Douglas Brent Hegdahl, an American Navy petty officer, was taken captive during the Vietnam War. A female train conductor in London, 1916. With men off to war at the front, women showed they were capable of handling important jobs. Armenian women pose for a photograph before going to war against the Ottomans in 1895. Two young men hold a sign proclaiming their love and willingness to be legally married to one another, circa 1900. A woman celebrating her birthday in Tehran, Iran, 1973. A newspaper article from 1963. Patients with rubber dams at the dental clinic of the University of Iowa, 1890s. Kings Road, London, August 1967. Dubai, the fastest developed city in history. A Victorian couple of travelers looking rather dandy, taken in the 1890s. Indigenous children forced to pray in a residential school run by the Canadian government and the Catholic Church. A college dorm at the University of Illinois, 1910. Bruce Lee teaching his toddler son Brandon Lee how to fight, 1960s. New York City in the 1960s. A sailor meets his baby for the first time after 14 months at sea, 1940s. A mother repairs the family car while her husband is away at war, 1944. Mother and daughter walking in New York, 1970. (1968). My grandfather in the Second Korean War. A man searches for books in the former Cincinnati Public Library before its demolition in 1955. Today, an office building and parking lot stand in its place. A Victorian-era woman with an intense gaze, circa 1850 to 1860s. A man begs for his wife's forgiveness inside a divorce court, Chicago, 1948. Must see, the 1950s in America, a decade of change. History is full of untold stories, and these rare photos have given us a glimpse into moments long forgotten. Each image holds a story that shaped the world in ways we may never fully understand. Which photo fascinated you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more incredible moments from the past in our other videos. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.